right, let's talk some Packers. Matt Schneidman of the Matt Schneidman Show right here on the game, as well as The Athletic joins us now. He is brought to you by Miller Lite, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference in my Rogers. Behavioral health. Good morning, Mr. Schneidman. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. It's down to you, me, Hunter, Butchie. Who else in the Station Guillotine League?
Let me check.
Dolph is still in.
Dolph might still be in. I did notice that you have spent
Engineer
all
John.
your money, Matt.
I mean, I have Tua, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. Like, I'm barring a disaster, I should win the league. I have the best team, but that doesn't always equate to winning the league.
Okay. I found out I did get Mahomes last night. Thank you, Josh.
Cool, you're welcome. Yep.
I had a full $1,000 left in my budget. And I bid $251, and I only overbid the next highest bid
by $200.
By $234.
Those hurt.
Nice.
When that
Ouch.
happens, that hurts.
Who bid $16 for Mahomes?
You can always second guess yourself with those. I had a couple of those. I battled with, do I use all my money early in the season? Do I save it till later? But I'm happy with the team that I have right now. I don't feel the need to use any more money.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's the fun of guillotine leagues. You don't quite know when to splurge and spend your money. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the Packers.
Can we keep talking guillotine league, please? Like
next hour
instead of the Packers. Can we? I mean,
I think it's good.
Maybe a lot more enjoyment talking about
No.
that than the
Probably
Packers. I'm
not.
gonna lie.
No. Next hour. We'll get to that next hour.
Boy.
So, Matt, I was listening the other night to your show, and it was interesting to hear that you were the squeaky wheel last year that pointed out to the Packers, hey, knock, you're required to give us Goody at least once during the season. Kudos to you for that. You forced them out of the weeds because they were just going to be like, oh, yeah, nobody's going to pay attention to that. So now this year was your one shot at Goody during the season. Did he give you anything? What'd you think?
I mean, he answered questions. He has mastered the art of, not making headlines when he gets up to the podium. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing this long enough. So nothing he said or didn't say yesterday really surprised me. I was a little surprised, I'll say, by him revealing yesterday that going into the trade deadline, he actually wanted to be a buyer more so than a seller. But then again, I can even see a reason behind that because you look at what the Chicago Bears did. They bought, even though they're not in a traditional position to buy because it's a piece in Montez Sweat, who they plan to extend and have as a long-term guy instead of a rental. That's why, before they were 2-5, the Packers were interested in Jonathan Taylor, reportedly, because he wasn't just going to be a rental for this year. He was going to be a long-term piece. So that makes sense. The term buyer we use traditionally with teams who think they need one or two more pieces to win the Super Bowl or contend or make the playoffs, whatever you want to call it. And we view that as, a short-term rental. But there are different types of buyers. Now, that obviously didn't come to fruition, and they ended up being sellers, even though he said he entered the deadline not wanting to sell anyone. And it was interesting because he said, the first offer, or the first however many offers Brandon Beane made were not sufficient enough. And because of several reasons, one of them including how integral Rasul Douglas was to the locker room, Brian Gutekunst didn't want to make the trade, and eventually he said the offer was too good to pass up.
That, to me, I'm having a hard time with. Hard time thinking, so a swap of third and fifth was enough to twist Goody's arm to go, okay, I don't want to do this, but I will anyway. That was the most interesting thing that he said. He didn't have plans to move him, but this was too good to turn down. I think a naked 3 would have been in the neighborhood of too good to turn down. A Swippy swap? Yeah. Do you like the trade?
Do I like the trade?
Yeah.
I don't know. Listening to the reaction in the locker room yesterday, it's clear to see that the guys in there don't. Now, I'm not saying that's them coming out and saying, screw our general manager, but Rasul Douglas was a really important piece to this locker room. This seemed like more than just your run-of-the-mill expected deadline trade where someone whose name has been floated around in the news gets dealt. This is the Green Bay Packers, who have never been in this position to sell at the deadline in Goody's 6 years as general manager, and very infrequently in the 15 years before that, or the 15 years before that. But this year,
is this the first time Goody has sold at the deadline in 6 years?
I believe so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Matt,
and
you brought up. Yeah, go ahead.
And listening to Keyshawn Nixon yesterday, he was really beat up. He said, his mind was all over the place at practice and he couldn't focus essentially. And he was still sick to his stomach. And he said, I'm lost. And then Carrington Valentine said, we took a blow. Jair Alexander, God bless his soul, when he doesn't check his phone a lot, apparently, because he said he found out Wednesday morning that they traded Rasul. And Jordan Love said, it hurts. It's tough.
Then play better. If you're 2-5, you're not going to sell them. You're 2-5. You put yourselves in that situation as players, right?
Sure. Of course.
Butchie is so hard, old school dad. Stop crying about this, about the players. I'm just more taken aback that he was so well liked. The only thing that I thought might have been okay, I didn't consider this, was Kuhn yesterday, Schneidman, opened his show by saying, well, there were some comments that Sewell made.
Yeah, no.
And that
I
might
thought
have
that was silly.
I agree with you, Matt. We didn't even talk about the tape because I agree with. All right, I think it's silly.
Well, I mean, Kuhn's thought was maybe Sewell's comments rubbed either LaFleur or the team wrong in terms of the messaging they want, because he was saying things like youth shouldn't be an excuse at this point.
So I had that discussion with a couple people shortly after the trade. And with all due respect to those people, I quite frankly think it's dumb to toss that reasoning out there. So you're telling me they were unhappy with his messaging, saying youth shouldn't be an excuse, but that's the same exact messaging the head coach and GM and everyone else on the team are putting out. So why would they trade one of their best players for speaking his mind when it's the same exact thing they're saying?
Yeah, I'd listen.
It's stupid.
I'm with you on that. I know
not only is it stupid when you think about common sense, but then Goody and LaFleur get up at the podium yesterday and shoot down the notion that Rasul was traded because of something he said. So I'm glad they did, because it was a silly rationale for why this trade happened.
Thank you. Matt, one of the questions we did hear from Goody, and I thought there was going to be a lot of things to break down, but he went there with this. He said the offensive line, they're playing good. What's your take on that? Because I don't agree with that as an outsider of it. I think now we're trying to cover up some of the mistakes and pre-plan and poor planning for injuries. What was your thoughts on Goody's take on that comment, and what was your take overall from what he did say yesterday?
Yeah, I don't think the offensive line has played great, but then again, like I was talking with someone in the locker room yesterday. Twitter and all the Packer fans are up in absolute arms that Adam Stenavich and Brian Gutekunst are saying Josh Myers is playing the best football that he has since he's been here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Twitter's mad about that.
I didn't know we had thousands of offensive line experts on Twitter who are experts at breaking down the film. Guess what? Is Brian Gutekunst going to get up there and trash a player? No. But if a player isn't playing well, he's going to couch it somehow. He's not going to say he's playing terribly, but he's going to say, we like what we've seen, but, we need to keep seeing improvement. You can tell when Goody isn't thrilled with something because he'll address it a certain way. He won't straight up say it's terrible because he's not going to do that to his player. That's of no use to him. Yesterday, he got up there and said, Josh Myers is playing very, very well. He's playing the best football he has since he's got here. He doesn't say that about anyone. So to all the offensive line experts on Twitter, and I'm not saying this to stick up for Goody or defend him. All I'm saying is when he says something like, the offensive line's playing well, okay, maybe that translates to they're not playing well. When he says the defense is a little inconsistent, that probably translates to they're inconsistent. I'm going to be a Goody translator here. When he says their center is playing very, very well, that means he is very happy with how their center is playing.
Translate what he said about Jordan Love then.
Hold on, let's feed it into the Gutenator. The Gutenator 3000. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Okay, Gutenator 3000. Translate.
Well, he said that there's been some good and been some bad, and that means that I think that there's been some good and there's been some bad, which is accurate. And Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst, I don't think they're just sticking up for their 24-year-old quarterback. I think they're legitimately saying he needs more help around him in addition to playing better himself, which is accurate. When what you stick into the translator is what you see with your own two eyes, then I think it passes the test. They don't know yet if Jordan Love is the long-term guy. Would they have liked to know by now? Yeah. But he would have had to light the league on fire the first half of the season for them to know that. So anyone up in arms, anyone like, oh my God, he's saying he doesn't know if Jordan Love's the long-term guy yet. He must hate him. No.
Schefter tweeted that out. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst is unsure if Jordan Love is the long-term future of their franchise.
No, that was just the headline on Rob's story because that's literally what Brian Gutekunst said. Don't get on Schefter or Rob or whoever. It's literally the fans taking what Brian Gutekunst said and blowing it out of proportion. Brian Gutekunst said he doesn't know if a quarterback of a 2-5 team will be the quarterback for the next 15 years. Yeah, no, duh. It's like these things he says and people want to run with them and blow them out of proportion. What do you expect him to say? Yeah, the guy who's been up and down in his first 7 starts in the NFL is going to be the guy for the next 15 years. Of course he's not going to say that. And because he didn't say that, does it mean he's trashing Jordan Love? No, it's reality. People love blowing what these guys say in press conferences out of proportion when it should be expected. And just lastly on this Josh Myers thing, like if the head scout of the team, Brian Gutekunst, is saying that his center is playing very, very well, maybe he is. Instead of, Joe XYZ123 from Manitowoc on Twitter seeing Josh Myers miss one block on an all-22 clip that was posted by some blogger or just random Twitter account, and then that meaning Josh Myers is the worst of all time. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, we don't get cut up so the good plays. Hey, look at these good plays. See, that's his man. He blocked him.
Certainly not on a 2-5 team. Those don't move the needle as much.
Yeah. I don't even think they move the needle. When a guy does his job effortlessly, it doesn't make for sensational eye candy. That's for sure.
If an offensive lineman does his job 9 out of 10 times, he's not throughout the course of a game, he has a bad game because that means he had 5 or 6 missed assignments. And those are the ones that are going to get blown up. If David Bakhtiari doesn't do his job 9 out of 10 times throughout the course of a game, he never makes an all-pro team. So you're absolutely right, Zabe. The good plays don't get, magnified on Twitter because there would be too many of them.
All right. Very good. As always, Mr. Schneidman, a pleasure tonight, 6 to 7 p.m., the Matt Schneidman Show. You'll be on Coon's show later today, and keep on doing what you do up there covering the team. Thank you, bud.
Well, we have the football feast tonight, so I don't have my own show. But yes, thank you.
Oh, that's right. Football feast tonight. Where are the boys?
Walk show.
Oh, hell yeah. Give me some lemon peppers. Let's go. All flats. Upcharge me.
You going?
There's free wings. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. We're with the band. You know what we say? I'm with the band.
Are you a groupie right now?
I don't think they're going to let you.
You don't think they're going to get free wings?
Not to you.
Oh, well, I'm saying, hold on.
Well, in that case.
All right, Mr. Schneidman. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, guys.